Alright, are we back with you? Okie doke, guys. We tried to come back live, and I guess the stream crashed after about a minute. Yeah, some weird stuff was going on with Streamlabs OBS where it brought me up with 757's Spies stream chat still in my system. So something might have gone wrong there. I think we should be okay. Hopefully we are now broadcasting.
Identify flight level 248, climb flight level 330.
Checking with you just a moment. I'll give you some progress updates. Hang on a second, guys. Just another thing I wanted to revisit on the recap here. Hang on one second. Well, hopefully we're back with you now and everything is good. Okay, all indications are that the stream is indeed live. Well, welcome back, guys. I had a little bit of a glitch there coming back into the broadcast. That's really the only glitch that we've had all day, because in every other respect we seem to have been hitting our marks perfectly. My goal in restarting the stream, as we are back with our VATSIM Across the Pond event, live from Studio 5, just outside of Ocean City, Maryland, doing not one of our Slant Alpha adventures, but definitely a Slant Lima adventure today, Slant Lima heavy adventure today. And that's him across the pond, heavily underway as we continue to make our way to Vienna, Austria. So a couple of things to point out. I mean, my goal had been to bring the stream live again right about an hour before the top of descent, and I had identified this point right here on the landfall of the European mainland as the point where I wanted to come live, and we hit that right at 2:30. So that worked out really well. It is called Kilo Oscar Kilo Coxie. When I think of Coxie, I think of this guy. But anyway, so there we are. We passed Coxie when we checked in with Maastricht radar. He actually bypassed us down to the next point down the line. So we are currently direct to Petis. Again, Coxie and Petis. I guess we have to be careful how we pronounce those things. But here we are. We are actually, by the way, talking to Maastricht radar, who has been controlled by this dude, BVT_Eagle Eye on Twitch. So we're talking to him. Of course, we very kindly checked in and let him know that we were here. But if you want to see this interaction from the radar scope side of the equation, twitch.tv/BVT_Eagle Eye. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and throw that into the stream chat for you. Feel free to take a peek and see how things are unfolding.
American 514, contact Maastricht 126.0.
Alright, 260, American 514, we'll see. So it might be more than one Maastricht controller, 260, so I'm not sure which one we're talking to. Actually, no, I do know that, because it was the guy that we're just talking to, because when I checked in on his frequency,
how do you read me?
His streamlink came up right there in the chat.
Okay, that's good. 3789 on the frequency.
Let's check in with this controller here. Just a moment. Maastricht radar American 514 heavy is with a 350. Do the with you thing. I hate it when I do that.
3789, flight level 30090. Big here.
789, flight level 300, good night.
Here's the American 514, direct to Vic here.
Direct to Vic here, American 514.
Flight 789, Maastricht, hello, identified, descent, flight level 250, direct, Bati.
250, Bati, 789.
Okay, guys.
Lufthansa 143,
now,
contact
in the interim, I have also been kind of working ahead here, just to try and get ahead of the game. I don't yet see our ATIS for Vienna, LOWW, Oscar Whiskey. Don't yet see them in here. However, we can cheat LOWW, and they've got separate ATIS up for arrivals and departures. So that is their call sign. Information Yankee.
Contact Brussels 129.
Arriving runway 16 ILS. Transition levels 120, flight level 120. Wind is 170 at 6 knots. Temperature's 10, dew point's 8. QNH is 1008. So we'll go ahead and set 1008. But the interesting news there is that they're landing on ILS 16, so we can go ahead and get our FMC set up ahead of the game here. What did I say? It was 1008. So we'll go ahead and I've already switched this over from inches of mercury to hectopascals or millibars, whichever you prefer, but hectopascals, HPA, that's how it's identified on the screen here.
Lufthansa 222, mastering hello, identified. Proceed direct to Bulan.
Direct Bulan, Lufthansa 222.
1008 is now preset there, and everything proceeding according to plan. Now, we don't yet really know our star, but the neat thing about stars in Europe is they are based on the last waypoint on your route. And the last waypoint on our route is called, what was it called? We already kind of punched it in, some stuff ahead of time. Nimal, that's what it was. So that was our the last point on our program route was Nimal. That was the route that came to us from the Cross the Pond Discord. Sorry, the Cross the Pond, not Discord. Cross the Pond dashboard. That's what I mean. So Nimal, if we scan through here looking for one called Nimal, we actually do see Nimal 2 Whiskey. And so we don't see any other Nimals down here. Well, let's take a look at this Nimal 2 Whiskey. It does say Nimal 2 Whiskey, RNAV arrivals, all runways. Okay, well then that is, if we're coming from Nimal, this is the one we want. So we can go ahead and put put that star in. And so here's the points we'll need to check. Nimal, Nimdu, Limmer rather, Gamli, Barug, and then this reference point, Whiskey 450, and then Bolid. So we'll go ahead and step through the FMC and make sure those are all there. The other thing is, we saw from the ATIS information that they are landing ILS 16, so we can go ahead and load this procedure into the FMC as well. And as a matter of fact, I have already done those things. In addition to these 2 points, 5,000 feet and then 1890 there. And then the missed approach is FMD VOR at 5,000. So let's just go ahead and check all that stuff in the FMC and make sure that it is there correctly. And I've already done this, but again, this is what you would want to do at this point if you haven't already. So on the legs page, we got Nimal, and then as we go through the star again, we're checking these altitude restrictions. No speed restrictions listed here, but you would want to check those as well if there were any. But Nimal at or above 9. Nimdu between 9 and 330. Next page, we got Limr at or above 9. Gamli at above 9. Barak between 9 and 17. Is that correct? Yep, flight level 170. And Whiskey 450 at or above 9. And then we got Bolid at or above 8. And then we have the dreaded discontinuity. Well, we have to leave that in there right now because we do not know how we are getting from Bolid to the beginning of this approach. And if we connect that point, the plane's going to turn us there automatically, and we don't want to do that. We don't want the plane to do anything we haven't been cleared to do. So after Bolid, matter of fact, I mean, the thing to do is there's a hold published there. And if you don't have a clearance after Bolid, the way these stars work, on American stars, if you don't have clearance by the end of the star, it's typically just maintain X heading until you're told something. European stars, it's typically enter the published hold at Bolid, and then you'll be told to do something. So if we get close to Bolid and we don't get an instruction, we'll go ahead and program that hold just to have it ready. But
3246, flight level 380.
The other thing to do is to make sure we have this programmed in. By the way, the minimum is 797 feet, so we want to make sure we program that in. But again, it's these points here, and then left turn direct to FMD Pichament 5000 if we go miss. So let's just make sure all that is in there as well. So after, yeah, Whiskey 671 5000, runway 16's there. And then the next page we got FMD 5000 or above. So everything is in there as expected. We can do our initialized reference. This is our approach reference. We've already kind of programmed in our approach speeds. It's going to be at 145. So that'll make the reference speed easy. 150 is the approach speed. 145 will be the reference speed over the numbers. And we're going to do a flaps 25 landing at that speed. And we've now got that programmed in. So 150 and 145 are the key numbers there. And we'll go back to the legs page. On the ILS 16, we did see that the
windmill 106 master.
Wind is 170 at 6. So more or less straight down the center line and fairly light winds as well. Very little cloud cover. Temperature's 10. What does that mean in terms of real people temperature? Let's look. That's 50 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so we're ahead on the Star. We're ahead on the ILS. It is information uniform, I believe. Nope, information Yankee. Sorry, information Yankee. Emstein's back with us. Proud to be a winner of some fine Slant Alpha Adventures merchandise. Yeah, indeed. Congrats on the raffle win. We drew that this morning right before we shut the stream down. And your name and Fizdo is watching both came out of those two fish bowls, and neither Emstein nor Fizdo is watching was watching. But that's fine. Happy to have some Slant Alpha merch on the way to you here in the next couple of days. Guys who aren't familiar with the channel, we do 2 ongoing monthly raffle drawings here. Today we happen to draw our October raffle. And that is our Alphabets Points raffle and our landing rate raffle. I like football games. Says, what is VATSIM? Well, that is a network of aviation enthusiasts, real people that connect together in one big global community. Some acting as virtual pilots and some acting as virtual air traffic controllers. So the radio communications that you're hearing in the background are all real live people connected to this global network. And today is our massive semi-annual event, which we call Cross the Pond, in which they arrange air traffic control staffing for the entire Atlantic crossing, and thousands of 1,300 pilots participating and a couple hundred controllers participating in this event as well. We're just getting ready to make our arrival down into Vienna, Austria. 133655, American 514 Heavy. We'll see you. One, 3, 655. Ryan Radar, American 514 Heavy is level of 350.
American 514, Ryan, hello, identified.
Alrighty, there we go. So I like football games. Yeah, it's a heck of a lot of fun. If you are into flight simulators, it is a way that you can sit down at your flight simulator and you're not just flying all by yourself or with pretend pilots and controllers that are generated by your computer. It's a way to just make this a social activity. I've made hundreds of friends over the years that I've been on the VATSIM network. I mean, it's a little bit intimidating for some folks because we do use fairly realistic procedures and fairly realistic communication, so it can be a lot to learn if you aren't already kind of up on those things. If you maybe are a radio scanner listener and you kind of know how the communications work already, you might have a little bit of a leg up. If you've done some learning about aviation on your own, come in with a little bit of knowledge, it's not as bad. But yes, it's a tremendous amount of fun, but it is also a tremendous amount of learning and kind of a complex thing. But it gives you that sense of accomplishment that you can navigate all these realistic procedures and communications, and especially when you're able to successfully perform in an event that's this hectic and busy and do it unscathed and not cause a disruption from the traffic flow around you. Huge sense of accomplishment. And a very friendly and welcoming community. I mean, we're not out here in fighter jets trying to kill each other. We're not bombing anybody. We're not shooting anybody. We're not launching missiles at anybody. This is just really, for the most part, simulating civil aviation, commercial and private civil aviation, just for the love of it, just for the love of flying. I like football games. Says I know a lot about planes. Traveled to Turkey 2 times and Estonia, and then one to Heraklion. Yeah, and I've done some virtual flying in that region as well. We did a Mediterranean tour in our Douglas DC-3 once on the stream. But yeah, it's more than just traveling. It's about learning how to operate the planes and really learning how to communicate with air traffic control using proper procedures and terminology. So it's a tremendous amount of fun. Huge, like I said, this is really I call it VATSIM Christmas, although it happens twice a year. But this event is just one of the. It basically is the most massive event that you will see on the network. 2,300 pilots currently connected to the network. 305 air traffic controllers connected to the network right now. We did, at the time I made it over land, we did have a bunch of traffic around us, and they've kind of disappeared into the clouds here. We are definitely not alone in this sky, although we do have this piece of sky to ourselves at the moment. But like I said, we are fully briefed on our arrival procedure. And we've verified all the altitudes, and we've verified the approach. Of course, it's still possible that the winds might shift at Vienna, and they might switch approaches. We haven't officially been assigned the ILS to runway 16. It just so happens that that's what they're using at the moment, and we're kind of ahead of the game here. They're still not quite close enough to appear in range, but we kind of peeked ahead, if you will. We were starting to talk about our monthly raffles. We did do our October raffle drawings earlier in this morning stream when we took off from Halifax, Nova Scotia. We did a couple of hours of a stream this morning, and then we kind of took a break and connected back on just a little bit ago. Raffle number 1 is the one that you enter with our Twitch channel points, our alphabets points as we call them. Right there at the bottom of the chat panel, you've got the alphabet serial icon, and next to that you got a button that tells you how many of those points you have. Cash in 1,000 of those points. That gets you an entry into our alphabets raffle drawing. If you save up and do 5,000 at once, cash in those 5,000, you'll get 6 entries for the price of 5. So that's definitely the way to go. And at this point, the next drawing is not going to happen until toward the end of November. And as a matter of fact, I'm going away toward the end of November. We might end up pushing that November drawing back into early December. I'm not sure what I put on the schedule at this point. But the alphabets points there at the bottom of the chat panel, that's how you enter raffle number 1. Again, 1,000 for 1 entry, 5,000 for 6 entries, and recommend that you save up for the 5, but you're more than welcome to cash in 1,000 at a time if you prefer. Raffle number 2 is our landing rate raffle. Whenever we perform a landing on this stream, we will get your predictions as to the descent rate upon touchdown in terms of feet per minute at the moment the wheels touch the runway surface. Whoever ends up closest to that predicted number is whether above or below gets an automatic entry into that landing rate raffle, raffle number 2. When we do those drawings, as we did earlier today, and we'll do again toward the end of November, each of the 2 winners gets their free choice of any one of our Slant Alpha merch items. You get your choice of a Slant Alpha Adventures t-shirt, ball cap, mouse pad, coffee mug, or tote bag. Or if you prefer not to have me send my stuff to you, then you can choose an electronic gift card to Amazon.com or the xplane.org store or to simmarket.com. M. Stein was the one that came out of the Alphabets drawing this morning. He's already chosen the Slant Alpha coffee mug, so we'll get that on the way to him. Bizdo is not watching, but I am going to see him at the ZDC Live event, more than likely, so I'll find out what he wants, and I'll just take it down to him. Right after we get back from our vacation, pretty much, a couple days after that, we head down to our ZDC Live event. Our Washington Air TCC controllers all gather up together to do a night of controlling. And I tend to see him at that event, although I don't know 100% that he's confirmed for that. Kilnavox says, I enjoy my Slant Alpha coffee mug. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, M. Stein won one of those this morning, and we're going to get it on the way to him as soon as possible. All right, friends. We're as briefed as we're going to be. And the only bad thing about Cross the Pond is you do all this preparation, and you only get one landing. So, if it's terrible, then you have to end the great event on a terrible note like that. I like football games. Do I have to put my real age? Yes, you do. Now, when you register for VATSIM, you do have to give them your real name and your real information. However, your age and your real name do not have to be publicly displayed. They used to be. But you can, when you start connecting to the network, you don't have to use your name. You can use just your ID number, or you can use just your first name. But yeah, when you register, you do have to give them real information. And the minimum age is 13 years of age.
Windmill 106, right, hello, identified.
Yeah, so as long as you're 13 years of age or older, then you're eligible to join the VATSIM network. And you, like I said, you do have to give them your real registration information. But when you connect, you don't have to display anything about your age, and you don't have to display your full name if you prefer not to. DJ D Cool says, I never thought I'd see the day that Slant Alpha was flying a wide-body plane. Yeah, for those of you new to the channel, we mostly fly general aviation on this channel. As a matter of fact, Slant Alpha means we mostly fly old-school general aviation, where we're navigating without a flight management computer or inertial navigation system or GPS. This is one of the few exceptions that we make, but yeah, across the pond, DJD, across the pond is definitely one of those days where we'll make an exception. And we typically don't fly any longer than a 75 to 90 minute flight either. But across the pond is kind of the day that we make the exception, because it's just such a cool event. We'll make an exception to our aircraft type. We'll make an exception to our navigation type. We'll make an exception to the length of the flight that we're doing. It's such a cool thing. I'm glad that the VATSIM Board of Governors has chosen to keep it going, even though when VATSIM kind of had an explosion of pilot membership.
514, contact Langen 125.2, bye-bye.
All right, 25-2, American 514 Heavy, we'll see. Lagging radar, American 514 Heavies, level at 350.
American 514, lagging radar, good identified.
Alrighty.
Lagging radar.
We are identified, guys.
06 kilo, lagging identified.
Just another 6-hour slant alpha stream. Well, it was a 7-hour flight, Kilnavok. But what I do for Cross the Pond is I split it up into a morning stream for the departure and then connect back on about an hour before our top of descent. So took about a 4-hour break. I guess we broke at about 10:45. We shut the morning stream down. We broadcasted from 8 o'clock in the morning to 10:45 this morning, Eastern time, Eastern U.S. time. And then reconnected just about a half an hour ago, and we had a little bit of a glitch getting the stream reconnected. That was our one glitch for the day. Hopefully that's our one and only glitch for the day. But we are, if we stick to the estimates from our from our initial time estimates, we should be touching down right about 4 o'clock Eastern time, so just under an hour from now. And so far, so good. So far, we have not heard about any delays coming into Vienna. We'll see how we do. I was there and now I'm here, but where in the world am I? Kilnavok says. Well, I wasn't sure, Kilnavok. I don't know the timing. We took off this morning from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I figured I probably flew right over you, but you might be back home by now. I'm not exactly sure.
Land radar, Austrian 87, the controller on 133, the Siemens 435, told us we are on the overrun frequency, Austrian 87.
Yeah, Austrian 87, you should be on 133.755.
29.430. That's fine. Okay, 123, the Siemens 755, back Austrian 87.
Verdammt. Danke ebenfalls.
Those are going to keep me in score, by the way. This is Red Bull number 3 that I'm just about to finish up. So fewer than I expected. Portland this morning. Okay, yeah. When we started from Halifax, Nova Scotia, so we started out to your north and east. Does that mean you're home now, though? That mean you're home now, or you still got one more travel day? Yeah, I'll be traveling at the end of this coming month.
Contact Rheinradar on 127.290, goodbye.
Oh, okay. Boston tomorrow. Okay, so we weren't that far from you, but yeah, we departed from
Contact 127.9.
extreme northeastern Canada.
Charlie. 1 Charlie negative 127.290.
Alright, very good, guys. Very good. We've been through the legs, we've been through the approach. I think really at this point, just trying to stay on top of the latest information to make sure we have the latest letter to report in. When it comes time for that, LOWI, LOWS, not quite close enough for LOWW at this point. We'll do a...
Euro wings 113 inbound beep tag.
We'll do another cheat just to see. Okay, it's now on information Zulu. 1008 still the QNH, still on ILS 16. 160 at 7, so still pretty much right down the center line, still holding steady at 10 degrees. Malcolm landed at Vienna, so the winds are good. Yeah, it looks like pretty favorable weather there. We'll of course give our weather update to our passenger cabin before we start down, right around the time that we start down. Destination creeping back into the nav display again. And our top of descent coming up in just about 180 miles or so. About another 20 minutes from top of descent.
Langenau, Route windmill 106 heavy, level 350, inbound, thank you.
Windmill 106, Langenau identified. Spencer 6 Mike, Lima, contact Rheinradar 133, decimal 655, good night.
Over to Rheinradar, confirm 133, decimal 655.
Oh, Malcolm says study the Mabod and Nurdu 7 left transitions, because I got assigned them. Good to know.
06 Kilo, contact Ryan Radar 133, decimal 655, good night.
Good to know. Let's pull that up in that.
Get wings 113, check information, Romeo, expect vector 2 ILS, runway 25.
Vector 2.
Okay, so that's basically the upwind and downwind. They kind of do a zigzag here. The Nurdu would probably make more sense from where,
correct, and
we're
check
coming
information, Romeo.
But it basically allows them to
information,
stack up
Romeo.
additional
Your
traffic without
information.
having to put them in holds.
Get wings 113, proceed direct Delta Sierra 531.
Oh yeah, so our
Your wings 113, direct.
yeah, we're coming in off of Ballot here, so
1.
we would come in off of yep, so that is possible. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Just yeah, that's what I'm. How do I unpin? That's what I need to know. Here we go. So our star is going to end at Ballad, and then we may end up getting this transition route, which I don't have this programmed in. Ballad 4K. So let's, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and program that in just as a hunch that we might need to do that. Departure and arrival. What was it, Ballad? 6 Lima. Oh, then hold on. Oh, it's 6 Lima.
American 514, contact Ryan Radar 133, decimal 755, good night.
Alright, 133755, American 514, see ya.
Ryan Radar, guten Abend, your wings 381 with you.
Get wings 381.
Okay, I see how it works. Yeah, Ballad 6 Lima. Okay, so now I gotta make sure I got the right chart up. That's not what I pulled up. I'm still on Langen radar. Langen radar, American 514, heavy level at 350.
American 514, my radar, good evening. Identified, flight, input.
He's identified, and what was the next thing he said?
American 514, proceed direct input.
Direct inpull, American 514.
Cafe 1134, descent level 33, about 2,000 feet.
Okay, so yeah, Ballad 6 Lima.
Flight level 330 at 2,000 feet or more, Cafe 1134.
Right, because I tell you what, because that's the one that lines up, Ballad. That's the one that lines up with 16. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so let's make sure. Departures and arrivals. Yep, okay, that is that is selected. And so now if we get assigned that after Ballad, it's these points 686, 684, 682, 680. Let's make sure they're all in there. Six 684, 682, 680, and then on. Okay. Okay, we are set. Thank you for that tip, Malcolm. Appreciate it. All right, with the map starting to get a little bit cluttered, we're going to reduce the range just a touch. I wish that I don't know would be nice, or maybe I tell you what, if we go back to this and I unpin here, and Halifax for departure, unpin here. Perfect. Okay. So there's our. This is the what we're following now: Nemel, Nimdu, Limerick, Gamley, Barlig, and then down to Ballad, and then from Ballad we're at these, and then we're on the ILS to 16. And then there's the airport diagram. If we land on 16, we're going to make a right-hand turn off, and these are the parking stands. We don't know what parking stand will be assigned, but they'll let us know. And then there's our airport diagram. All right, I think we are set.
Langradar, good day, Lufthansa 74, flight level 370.
Lufthansa 74, Rhine radar, low identified. KSA 1134, contact bean radar 134, decimal 350, roger.
All right, top of descent coming up in
134.350.
40, 80, 120, about 130 miles. So what's that, about 15 minutes? Lava Cows here says, I came into the stream at a good time. Yep, we are just getting ready to hit our top of descent 15 minutes from now.
Austin 87, when ready.
Start making our descent into Vienna, Austria, as VATSIM crossed upon Eastbound 2020. Marches on, and for us it marches on toward its conclusion. Of course, we've got a number of friends that are up flying today as well. Mustafa over here. We got Cross Hyperu. We got 757 Spy. Stu 222 is around there somewhere as well. Richard 42 Victor's here. He's at work, unfortunately, but I'm glad you at least can drop in, Richard. Appreciate that. Guys who might be new to the stream, as we were starting to say earlier, we mostly fly general aviation on this channel, and Slant Alpha refers to navigating with an old school VOR radial type navigation with DME. Basically, that without a GPS, without any kind of inertial nav system or RNAV capability at all, you just have that old school manner of tracking VOR radials.
Mark decimal 81 for Lufthansa 74.
And tracking those out to a certain distance, and then manually managing the transition between one and your subsequent leg of your navigation plan. Very unlike the modern type of navigation where you just punch the route into the box and the box just makes the plane do all the turns as it goes. So this is a little bit of a departure for us, but as we typically fly general aviation with that old school radio-based analog style navigation. So this is a little bit of a departure for us from that norm. But we do occasionally on the stream make such kind of exceptions. We do occasionally fly that working title Citation CJ4. We do a fair number, maybe once a month or so, we'll fly the PMDG 737. And then like today, as Richard just was about to ask, today we're flying that Kuro mod of the Dreamliner 787 from Flight 622. In American colors today. An American abroad.
Austin 87, descent level 330, and make sure to reach at in-pool.
Austin 87, gutes Timing, gerade das Descent angefangen. GG0, reach at in-pool, Austin 87.
Just gotta remember, it's very heavy, and we gotta flare pretty aggressively when we get down to the short final, and especially when we were departing from Halifax. We did install the Orbic scenery from Halifax, and we did install the Orbic scenery for Vienna. I found that in this aircraft, those sceneries were a little bit frame rate heavy for me, so we're going to suffer a little bit in terms of frames when we get down to Vienna. Hopefully not enough to make it uncontrollable, but I do just need to remember that even with good frame rates, this does require a bit of a heave on the yoke to get it to flare and not slam into the pavement. So we'll do our best, hopefully, to flare it nice and firmly, assertively, and not smash it into the landing blocks. It is fun to see you in a Lima Bird, says Melvin Leroy. Yeah, I do. I like doing that occasionally. And of course, we've done it a little bit more frequently recently because this is a new aircraft for me. But across the pond is not the kind of day you want to be flying something that you're brand new and unfamiliar with. So we've done a handful of flights just in the last 6 weeks or so just to get familiar with it. Turns out it's a lot like a 737 with nicer displays. It's really, the flow is not that terribly different than what we're used to.
level 330 with 1,500
So,
feet per minute or greater. Thanks.
So yeah, not too bad. And it seems to handle itself well. I mean, we've made some route modifications, we've made some runway switches in it in other streams. Hopefully we won't get too switched around with this. I'm feeling like we're pretty solid with the information we got. Unless there's a major change in the winds there, we should be fairly reliably assigned to that ILS to runway 16. Richard says, what's your ETA? We should expect to be touching down basically at the top of the hour, 4 o'clock Eastern time. We'll see if we get into too many delays. I don't know that I've got no indications that they've got any kind of major delay program into Vienna at this point, but we shall see. Why don't we see if we can take a peek? Obviously from that view it looks pretty clustery there. But it doesn't look like a massive cluster of planes all... I mean, that does. But as far as... well, let's do it this way. And then let's sort by ETA. Oh no, yeah, sort by ETA. And I'm expecting to be there right at the top of the hour, so I'm not... Oh, there's me. So VATSIM says I'm going to be landing in 15, or yeah, in basically a half an hour. I think it's going to be a little further back than that because we're going to have to slow down before then. VATSIM is just taking my current ground speed and calculating that.
Line radar, Jetchat 556 with you, 330 inbound, Mike.
But it looks like a pretty good span of times between these first handful of arrivals here. From current time all the way up to 40 minutes from now for the first screen of arrivals. So that's not terribly, that's about 1 a minute. Hopefully that's a reasonable interval for them. We'll see how it goes, Richard. If we get stacked up in a little bit of a hold, then we'll take that when it comes. But for right now, it looks like we're going to be landing right near the top of the hour. So just about 40 minutes from now. We'll see how it goes. The encouraging sign is that for every controller that we've checked in with over the last 3, we've gotten a shortcut, a direct further down the path. So smoothing out some of the little turns in our path, which means they're trying to close up gaps between us and planes ahead. That indicates to me that they're not holding people, they're trying to expedite people. I'll try and join at the right time, he says. All right, very good. Hope to see you. Once we start the descent, guys, I will warn you that I'm probably going to be substantially less interactive with the chat. I'm going to see if I can sneak out for one real quick moment before we get to our top of descent, though. Feeling like I need to take
American 514, descent, flight level 330.
I'm sorry, 330 or 230?
330.
Okay, descend 330, American 514. Alright, just put it into a Shallow descent. We'll go ahead and get our passenger signs on. Yeah, I guess I'll tough it out, guys. I was going to try and sneak out of the cockpit for one more quick break, but I don't think I should.
From the 7-4, request 2 minutes out of cockpit.
From the 7-4, proof to protect.
Report back, thanks.
At American 514, same question.
Take off flight 370. Oscar 310 radar, hello, identified, direct, pool.
Direct, what's the tag angle?
Direct in pool.
Yeah, liquid recycling, Richard.
Direct
That's
in pool, out 10-0. American 514, go ahead with the question.
yeah, just need to step out for real quick, 2 minutes.
American 514, contact Wien radar 134, that's not 350, and then ask him.
All right, 3435, American 514.
And radar, good evening, Oscar 245, Bravo, flight level 240.
Come on. There's a click spot.
330, that button, sky.
Yeah, we'll tough it out. We'll tough it out. I feel like it's probably best if I stick close to the cockpit at this point. Langan radar, American 514 heavy is 337 going down to 330.
American 514, this is Wien, no need for the insult, Servus radar contact, cleared Nemal 2 whiskey arrival, descent flight level 270.
Alright, I'm sorry, which arrival?
Nemal 2 whiskey arrival.
Alright, Nemal 2 whiskey arrival and 270 for American 514.
Lufthansa 2, Romeo Mike, descent flight level 250.
Wien, hello, trying 350, Excel 330.
Hearing 35 Lima Mike, Wien radar Servus, radar contact, cleared Wien 3 whiskey arrival.
Clear Wien 3 whiskey arrival for Allison 6, 350 Mike.
Hearing 35 Lima Mike, no runway assignment yet, will be done the approach shuttle.
Roger.
Yeah, speed surged up because I forgot that when I put it into vertical speed, it
Thank you, bye.
it kicks it into IAS that's not necessarily related to what you're flying now.
Lufthansa 2 Romeo Mike, on conversion speed 300 or greater.
Speed 300 or greater on conversion, Lufthansa 3 Romeo Mike.
All right.
Wien radar, good evening.
Greetings from the flight deck. We have started our descent into Vienna. We ask that you return your seats and fasten your seatbelts. Weather there is mostly clear, with about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius, with very light winds. Cabin crew's going to come around one last time to collect trash, take care of any last minute needs. We expect to be on the ground in about 35 minutes. Thanks for flying again with American Airlines. Say the frequency again, I'm sorry. Say that frequency again for American 514, please.
American 514, 128.7.
All right, 28.7 American 514, we'll see.
KC 1134, speed 290 knots.
290 knots, Cathay 1134.
KC 1134, contact 134675, bye-bye.
134675, bye-bye, Cathay 1134.
American 514 is with you, 305 going down to 270.
American 514 in radar contact, continue to descend 170 to be level Baruch.
Alright, 170 level by Baruch, American 514.
American 514, proceed direct Baruch.
And direct Baruch, American 514.
Airport 71 Charlie, contact 118775, bye-bye.
Contact 118.775, yeah, for
So
71
they're
Charlie.
still pushing us direct.
170.
170. Let's make sure we go back into navigation mode so they can calculate that descent path for us. And direct ourselves to Baruch. We execute, and it's going to put us at 17 there.
Select Master, you actually from right.
Etaro 233 descent flight level 170.
I'll tell you what. We're still descending early according to the flight management computer, so... We'll just keep that 1,000 foot a minute descent for now. Richard, who got the raffles? It was M. Stein. He won the Alphabets raffle, and Fizdo is watching for the landing rate raffle. Fireheart Macbeth is back with us. Welcome, guys. Yeah, we're starting to get a little frame rate here.
Of course, contact Wien 13435. Bye-bye.
13435.
Red Bull number 3, down the tubes. No, I did have a glass of water too earlier, so that if that counts as our fourth beverage, that still hits the under though, right? That's because the over/under was 4.5, I think. All right, guys.
787, contact Wien 134675. Have a nice landing. Bye-bye.
Yeah, 3 plus the glass of water, Cal, so that makes 4. And we had set the over/under at 4.5 earlier. With the conventional wisdom taking the over. Alright, since we have to be leveled by Baruch, I'm going to actually speed up the descent slightly. Now, of course, when it hits this top of descent mark, the vertical path will just come down, and it'll guide us the rest of the way to that point. But we'll just put it in a controlled enough descent that it's pretty close. Seems like there might be a little glitch as we popped it into and then back out of vertical speed. It seemed like there might have been a little glitch as to what was being reflected in the speed window versus the primary flight display. We'll have to watch that. We'll have to manage that carefully here. There are no speed restrictions along this path, I think, until we get to maybe the transitions start to say 230 knots by the time we get to 676 on the downwind. Transition altitude transition level rather 120, by the way. So you'll notice the primary flight display will start yelling at me about the transition altitude or transition level once we get below 180. However, we're going to keep that standard setting until 120, flight level 120. Let's go over our approach briefing one final time just to make sure. The cloud cover and winds were checked. The cloud cover is reading count okay. Wind is about 7 or so knots, 8 knots right down the center line. FMC route was checked and legs were checked. Missed approach route and altitude were checked. And it is a climbing left turn to 5,000 if we go missed. VREF speeds are going to be 150 down the approach and 145 over the numbers. Minimum sets of 797, basically 800 feet. Auto brake 3 is set as we are going to make a right-hand turn off as basically as close as we can. We're coming back over our right shoulder to the terminal. We don't know exactly where. But all the parking stands are basically a right-hand turn and then back toward the terminal. So shorter we land, shorter we taxi. So we got a fairly high auto brake setting set. Auto brake 3 there.
Heavy level 270, name on to whiskey arrival.
Wind 106 in radar contact, continue descent 170 to reach at Baruk.
Down to 170 to reach about windmill.
So auto brake determined, and it's a right-hand turn off if we do make it successfully down.
118.775, bye-bye.
Wind 118.775, shift for the right.
Knock the map range down
Being
1.
radar good day, Lufthansa 74 on flight level 270, inbound Nemal.
Good got Lufthansa 74, Wien radar contact.
Alright, here's where I start getting nervous.
In radar, Austin 19 Papa, setting 2310. After now, 19 Papa, Wien, guten Tag, radar contact, descent flight level 170, level at Mazur, direct to Mazur. Descent 170, level at
21.6.
Mazur, direct to 19 Papa.
I'm going to preset.
Number 74, the reduced speed to 990 knots, descent.
290 knots and flight level 190 Lufthansa 74.
Windmill 106, speed 300 or greater.
Preset
Speed
the
300 or greater, name 106.
Speed radar with you, flight level 310, Delta
frequencies.
2363.
Delta 2363, Wien, hello, radar contact, direct to Mazur, descent flight level
now
170.
information Alpha.
Descend flight level
Still
170, direct to
16
Mazur,
temps
Delta
10 130 at 5, so now it's a very slight left to right.
And Dean Ritter, CYHZ 556, flight level 293 for 270.
Exit channel 556, Wien, hello, radar contact. Alpha 19 Papa, keep speed 310 knots or greater. 310 knots or greater, 19 Papa.
Yeah, he wants 310 from that.
Delta 363, for your convenience, speed 300 or less is sufficient.
300 or less, Delta T360.
Extra jet 556, on rate of descent flight level 170, level at Baru.
It's down to 170 and level at Baruch for CYHZ 556.
Lufthansa 74, speed 280 knots.
Speed 280 knots for Lufthansa 74.
American 514, contact Wien 134.675, goodbye.
34,675 for American 514, we'll see.
Exit jet 459, Wien.
See, Nevada exit 459, go ahead.
Exit jet 459, Wien, hello, radar contact.
Quebec 1134.
1134, contact arrival, frequency 119.8, call sign only. Bye-bye.
119.8, thanks very much. Quebec 1134, bye-bye.
Wind radar American 514 heavy is 190 going down to 170. Get information Alpha.
American 514, wind radar identified, expect ILS 16, cleared ballard 6 Lima transition.
Alright, ILS 16 via the 6 Lima transition, American 514. Oop, we got it. We got it all programmed in. Thank you, Malcolm.
American 514, descent flight level 120.
Hi, flight level 120, American 514.
87, proceed direct whiskey 982, reduce speed 250 knots. Whiskey 982 and indicated airspeed is 250, button correct.
At this point, we're going to go ahead and let DNAV take over.
American 514, proceed direct whiskey 686.
Alright, whiskey 686, American 514. Trying to slow me to 220. I'm going to keep it up to 280. I know the VNAV is trying to keep us as high as possible, as long as possible. But I'm just going to put us in just a continuous shallow descent.
Green approach.
I think by that whiskey we're supposed to be at 5,000. So.
Heavy level 170 eastbound fog.
Windmill 106, wind rate identified, expect ILS 16, cleared ballard 6 Lima transition.
Go 1,500
Cleared
for
ballard
now.
6 Lima transition and expecting ILS 16, windmill 106.
1,500.
Windmill 106, proceed direct whiskey 686, descent flight level 130.
When does that speed restriction apply? The speed restriction doesn't apply until 676.
Whiskey 686, windmill 106.
87, descent 7,000 feet. Descent 7,000 feet, Australia 7.
All right. Knock the map range down one more time. Could maybe start to see, I don't know, that's the city, or is it further up? Still 30 miles out. Oh, this could be a destination up there.
Australia 87, reduce speed to 220 knots. Reducing to 220
Yeah, it's telling us to switch over into standard altimeter setting, but again, the transition level here is 120, not 180. So we're going to keep it in standard for now. Keep it at 280 for now. Fifteen minutes to land.
514, proceed direct whiskey 684, descent 8,000 feet, QNH 1008.
Alright, whiskey 684, 8,000 on QNH 1008 with American 514. Alright, 8,000. Keep the descent going where it is. We'll go ahead and switch over to local. And since we're going to be going below 10, we'll slow it down to 240 knots. Well, we'll slow it to 250 when we hit here, 682, and then we got to slow it to 230 by here, which at that point I'm going to want to go more like 210, and then on the intercept bang it to 170 unless we get restricted higher.
Wing radar, good day, Lufthansa 74, flight level 170.
Lufthansa 74, wing radar identified. Expect LS 16, get Ballard 6 Lima transition.
Expect runway 16 and clear Ballard transition 1, Lufthansa 74.
Lufthansa 74, descent flight level 140. Proceed direct Whiskey 686.
Descent flight level 140 and again for Lufthansa 74.
Whiskey
Field elevation
686.
600 feet.
For direct Whiskey 86, Lufthansa 74.
Negative, the waypoint is Whiskey 686.
Alright, so we'll bring it down to 250 knots as we're getting ready to dip below 10,000. We'll go ahead and alert our cabin crew, and we'll start turning on some forward-facing lights.
So direct Whiskey
We're going to leave the taxi light off as our
686 for Lufthansa 74.
indicator that we have not yet been cleared to land.
And Veen approach, ExitJet 556 with you at 18.8 for 170.
As we're dipping below 10,
Exit
I'm going
556, Wien
help
radar
it slow down,
identified.
throw a little
Expect
drag in there
LS
for it.
Ballard 6 Lima transition.
Expect the ILS 16 Lima transition for ExitJet 556.
Alright, there's 250. I can hear
With
the
Mill 106, descent 10,000 feet, QNH 1008. Keep the high speed. I call you for reduction.
High speed down to 10,000 feet, QNH 1008.
This our airport right here. Awesome traffic there.
Lufthansa 74, descent flight level 110.
Descent flight level 110, Lufthansa 74.
ExitJet 556, descent flight level 120.
120, ExitJet 556.
Uh-oh, cream cheese. Oh no!
556, proceed direct Whiskey 686.
Moose had an internet outage and the sim and the stream crashed. Oh my gosh.
For ExitJet
That's terrible.
556.
What a way to end an event like this. I mean, fingers crossed. He was right atop of descent. That's terrible. Kind of makes you feel like you wasted the day, but you know, hopefully he had a good event up till then. Alright, I would say somewhere over there was our airport. Alright, here we are leveling at 8,000. Yep, right behind that A-pillar there. That's looking very much like our airport there, I would guess. Take a wild stab. Wow. Tell Moose that my best wishes go out to him, man. I know how that feels. But hopefully he had a good event and a good stream up until then.
American 514, proceed direct Whiskey 682.
Direct to Whiskey 682, American 514. Yeah, that is suspiciously airstrippy, wouldn't you say? I think all the flashing lights kind of give it away. Basically sending us right over the top of it. But that's why we're at 8,000 feet, so.
Wind radar, Nikkei 1310.
Does look like we have couple other
to 5,000 feet.
couple other aircraft in the vicinity here.
81310, wind radar 95, climb 10,000 feet.
Climb 10,000 feet, Nicky 1310.
Wind middle 106, proceed direct Whiskey 684.
Direct Whiskey 684, wind middle 106.
Direction 514, descent 6,000.
6,000, American 514.
Wind middle 106, descent 8,000 feet.
Down to 8,000 feet, wind middle 106.
All right, guys.
4, descent 9,000 feet, QNH 1008.
Behold, there's our
Flight level 90.
There's our runway.
QNH
Got one on final.
1008, Lufthansa 4.
Thought the
Exit
TCAS
556, descent
TCAS was
10,000
showing
feet,
one out
QNH
on the
1008.
on the downwind.
Down to
Might be a touch early, but let's go ahead and start getting your predictions into the chat as far as the vertical descent rate upon touchdown. There's no bot command on this channel that you need to do for that. Just a number into the chat, positive or negative, will know that you mean a descent rate either way, so the minus sign's even optional as well. The closest predictor gets an automatic entry into our monthly landing rate raffle, and that we just drew that today. The next one will be toward the end of November. I don't remember if we're going to do it before or after our vacation. So it might be late November or it might be early December when we come back. I think it's late November, like right before Thanksgiving. At any rate, it'll be sometime a few weeks from now is when we make that next drawing.
Direction Lufthansa 992, wind radar identified, climb
Go ahead and get start
level
getting those predictions in.
140.
Again, no bot command necessary, minus sign optional as well. And then bear with me as I am likely...
Exit 556, rate of descent 2,500 feet per minute or greater.
2,500 feet or greater for...
likely not going to be terribly interactive with the chat until we get down. Malcolm, yeah, we did indeed get that balance.
514, contact arrival, frequency 11908, call sign only, bye-bye.
11908 and call sign only, American 514.
CSA 051, descent flight level 120.
Flight level 120, CSA 051.
Arrivals American 514.
American 514, wrong frequency, frequency is 11908 for you.
Whoops.
You at 8,000, descending to 6,000, Delta 2363.
Hello, Delta 2363, arrival, radio speed 220 knots.
That's the first and hopefully only time that's happened to me today.
2363, turn left heading 090.
090, Delta 236.
Arrival American 514.
Hello, American 514, arrival.
Yeah. Hello, that's all you needed.
Austrian 19 Papa, reduce speed 200.
Reduce 200, 19 Papa.
So the 230 comes at that 676 point. Then we got a few, it's this one up here.
Hello, route 768.
768, going around.
Contact tower 123.8, goodbye.
23.8 tower.
123.8 or...
Yep.
Austrian 19 Papa, right 130, descend 3,000, clear ILS 16.
It does look like we've got
right
one out here maybe making the turn onto the downwind to the base.
Austrian 19 Papa, reduce speed 180 knots.
Reduce 180 knots, 19 Papa.
Canada 514, descend unrestricted 5,000 feet.
5,000, American 514.
Delta 2363, reduce speed 200.
200, Delta 236.
American 514, turn left heading 320.
320, American 514. Whoops.
Austrian at 7, fully established, Entschuldigung für vorhin.
Austrian 87, kein Problem, reduce speed 160 knots, maintain to 4 DME.
160 on bit 4, Austrian at 7.
Delta 2363, turn left heading 080.
080, Delta 2360.
All right, friends.
American 514, reduce speed 200.
200 knots, American 514.
Austrian 19 Papa, reduce speed 160 knots, maintain to 4 DME.
Reduce until 160 and gain 4 DME, 19 Papa.
Austrian 19 Papa, contact tower 123.8, bye-bye.
Get the spoiler
American
shots.
514, left 250.
Left 250, American 514.
Austrian 87, maintain 160 knots to 4 DME, contact tower 123.8, bye-bye.
160 knots until 4, tower 123.8, Austrian 87.
Yeah, they're being super aggressive with the second
right
ring.
130, descend 5,000, clear LS 16.
Descend 5,000, Delta 2363.
Turn right heading 130, clear LS, approach runway 16.
Super aggressive
Turn
with
left
this
heading
vector.
130, establish ILS 16, Delta 236.
Delta 2363, for my confirmation, it's a right turn. Turn right heading 130, clear ILS 16, brake, American 514, left 190, descend 3,000 feet, clear ILS 16.
Alright, 190, 3,000 on the ILS 16, American 514.
Yep, and right turn heading 130, Delta 2363.
Thank you, and maintain 210 knots, please.
210 knots, Delta 2363.
Being arrival, windmill 106.
Hello, windmill 106, arrival, descend unrestricted 5,000 feet.
Descend unrestricted 5,000 feet, windmill 106.
American 514, reduce speed 180 knots.
180 on the speed, American 514. You're coming out. Keep those predictions coming.
Let's localize your ILS 16, Delta 2360.
That's a 2363, thank you, reduce speed 190 knots.
190 knots, Delta 236.
American 514, reduce speed 160 knots, maintain to 4 DME.
160 until 4, American 514.
American 514, to my confirmation, 160 knots to 4 DME.
Affirm, 160 knots until 4 out.
Thank you.
Alright, we're flaps
514, contact tower 123.8, goodbye.
23, American 514, we'll see you.
Delta 2363, reduce speed 160 knots, maintain.
Vienna Tower, American 514 heavies, 9 miles out, ILS 160 knots until 4.
American 514, hello, shortly becoming number 2.
Roger, we're number 2, American 514. We're number 2. We're number 2. Glide slope and localizer are active. We are below our set altitude. We can raise the selector to the missed approach altitude of 5,000. Gear is out. We are waiting on final flaps. We do not yet have our landing clearance. However, because that switch is way up there, I'm going to go ahead and throw that on now. We will just have to know that we do not yet have our landing clearance.
Runway 16, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 16, Austrian 7.
Wing Tower with you on final ILS 16, Delta 2363.
Delta 2363, Wind Tower, hello, number 3. Austin 19 Papa, turn right into Delta, contact ground 121.6, bye-bye.
Right on Delta, ground 121.
150. Landing flaps coming out. Alright guys, gears down and green, flaps 25, set and check, missed approach altitude 5,000 on the climbing left turn if we go missed, right turn off the runway if we land successfully. We are still waiting for landing clearance, otherwise all landing checks are complete. We're going to put this thing on the ground. Last call for the landing rate predictions. was probably dumb.
American 514, wind 130 degrees 5 knots, runway 16, split land.
Little land 16, American 514 heading.
Austin 87, turn right into Echo, contact ground 121.6, bye-bye.
Frame rate issues, chasing,
Right, Echo
chasing.
121.6, Austrian 87.
We're gonna make this work. Frame rates are making
Tower,
it
good evening.
not very easy.
ILS 16.
Middle 106, wind tower, hello, number 3.
Not too bad. We'll take it. We'll take it. Roosters are out. Can we hit this one? Now we'll go one more. Yeah, shaky frame rates made that challenging, but we got down okay. We made it.
Clear to land at Delta 2363, face out.
I gotta wait. You gotta wait till the guy ahead of you gets off the
Delta
runway.
2363, wind 130 degrees 4 knots, runway 16, split land.
Clear land.
American 514, right to Echo, contact ground 121.6, bye-bye.
All right, right to Echo and 21.6, American 514 Heavy. We'll see you. I got some cleanup to do. Yeah, get my airport diagram up in front of me. Wing ground American 514 Heavy is off of 16 on Echo.
American 514, hello again. Taxi via Echo, Lima, stop Lima 2.
Echo, Lima, Lima 2, and did we have a stand number?
To expect is Delta 22.
Oh, okay, so I expect to stand 22, American 514, thanks.
Ocean 1, Nana Papa, call ground 121.775, gute Nacht.
121.756, bye.
We'll try to see which stand. Oh, F22, I think is what he said. Okay, it's on the top side of the north pier. I see it.
Ocean 87, call ground to 121.775, goodbye.
121.775, Ocean 87.
Wing ground with you at Bravo 8, Delta C363.
Delta 2363, wing ground, hello, second right on
Alright,
Echo.
so we got flaps in, spoilers were stowed. We can get
Second
the...
right on Echo, Delta C363.
Delta 2363, correct. Taxi via Echo, Lima, stop Lima 2.
forward facing lights
Echo,
off.
Lima, stop Lima 2, Delta 236.
Ground for American 514, can you confirm where we are on Echo?
American 514, turn left now. Left is the taxiway at Lima. After taxiway at Lima, hold short of Lima 2.
Okay, Lima short of Lima 2, left immediate 514. Thanks, sorry.
Correct. Delta 2363, change of plans to expected position Golf
kind of lost track.
Taxiway Echo, stop Whiskey 2.
Echo, stop Whiskey 2, Delta 2363.
Let's see Lima 2 marked here. But I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Yeah, very, very frame ratey here, unfortunately.
American 514, call ground 121.775, goodbye.
Alright, 21.775, American 514, we'll see. Alright, so 21.775, we got our gate assignment. 121.775. Wind ground, American 514 Heavy Lima, short of Lima 2.
American 514 wing, ground hello taxi, gate Delta 22 via Lima.
Okay, Delta 22 via Lima, American 514. Okay, so straight ahead and around the East Pier, we'll hook a button hook route to the right.
187, taxi gate Foxtrot 05, Foxtrot 3 is blocked.
Alright, so let's continue our cleanup. We do need to get the APU on and started. We can get the flight directors off, get the weather radar off, get the first officer's terrain radar off.
Alternative dann einmal Taxi Lane 36 und Lima.
Transponder. Dann vorne Fox 05.
Go into transponder mode there.
About 224.
Fox 05, alternative.
Alright, let's make sure. What did I miss here? Spoilers and flaps, landing, turn off, strobes, APU, flight director's weather, terrain, minimums reset. We can do that. Okay. And then transponder mode. Yeah, we got it. Okay, so Delta 28 is to our right, so we want to keep on going. The approach controller was amazing. The finals controller, man, he pulled us in nice and tight onto that final, man. He wasn't messing around. Super nice job. Super nice job. The Kuro mod 787 definitely held up. Keithrick is with us. Just landed in Vienna for Cross the Pond, man. Great flight. A little bit of frame rate issues with the Orbic scenery at our origin and our destination here. Looks fantastic. Just a little bit jumpy on the frame rates. Both of them. The air traffic control services we got were just top notch all day. Should be the next right turn here for us. Or did I miss it? 21. Okay, so 22 is the one I missed. Not quite sure where the markings are that I'm supposed to be hitting. You know what? I'm just going to take 21. We're going to call that close enough for today, gentlemen.
Alternate 7 on blocks. Danke für das coole Event. Schönen Abend noch und viel Spaß im Dutzend.
Alright, parking brakes on. Taxi light. Come off. Oh, strobes should have come off earlier, but we'll do that now. Underneath the jetway on your left, it says D22 on the ground. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure. I got a little bit confused. This looks like the jetway that we're supposed to be lined up with, but on the ground it did look like it was directing us to this. So there might be a discrepancy in the markings, or it just might be that I didn't quite understand where I was supposed to be with that. So we're gonna just call that close enough, guys. But yeah, we are down. Let me get the plane shut down, and then we will talk about my predictions and your predictions, as far as my predictions being for the ending fuel and timing, and then we will talk about your predictions in terms of the descent rate in terms of feet per minute. So let's just do the turnaround checklist for right now. Parking brake, taxi lights. We can jump up top and get the beacon light off, seatbelt signs off. Engine anti-ice can come off. Fuel pumps can all come off. Window heat can come off. External power can come on. APU can come off. Oh, I didn't get the fuel levers. Yeah, we're supposed to have gone ahead and shut down the engines first. Duh. There we go. Engines are now shutting down. Then you would do that whole list that I just did. So I just skipped that one step there. We can go ahead and squawk 2000. We'll shut our transponder off in terms of the mode Charlie. And we will check my ETAs, and then we will check your, my estimates, and then your estimates. So I estimated for our flight time and fuel that we were going to be on the ground at 8:01. Or 20:01 Zulu, 4:01 p.m. Eastern Time, and on the blocks at 4:06 p.m. Eastern Time. For a 6-hour and 45-minute flight, we were down, within about 5 minutes of that. I think we got off maybe about 5 minutes late, and we landed about 10 minutes late. That's a pretty darn good estimate. But we will take the rate incoming. Oh, we're about to wrap up, but we'll take it. And we were supposed to have ended with just under 49,000 pounds of fuel. We will check on that. 49. Oh, 43.1. Okay, I might need to adjust my numbers then. Of course, we were a little bit lower. We didn't get our optimal flight level. Plus, we were much heavier than I'm used to being. So yeah, we weren't quite as fuel efficient as I expected us to be. 48,000, and we burned 5,000 extra pounds of fuel. So I don't know if I need to adjust my numbers, or if it was just a matter of us being so much heavier today that I have been flying this thing, and also for much longer. So yeah, but that's not too bad to be only 5,000 pounds short there. That's about 10%. So that's a little more short than I would have liked to have been, but not too bad. Let's talk about your predictions, guys. We've got your predictions as to the descent rate upon touchdown, and how did we do? I felt pretty good. Based on if the frame rate had been a little better, I feel like my landing performance would have been a little better also. Because the frame rates were low, I did kind of end up where I was chasing the glide slope a little bit, but other than I felt like I reacted pretty swiftly to get back on it and got realigned, and the speed was good. The speed got a little low over short final. I was trying to keep 145, and it got a little low on me they're kind of over the threshold. But other than that, it wasn't too terribly bad. And 238 was what registered once we did set the wheels down. And we did set the wheels down not too far off center line, and then not too far off the Emmy blocks. Of course, the little bit of left and right wig-wagging, I was over-controlling the rudders on the rollout, but 238 was the number that we want to look at as far as your predictions. Let's see how you guys did. 189, 177, 140, 169, 303, 243 Iowa Scotsman. Wow, he got it within 5. Iowa Scotsman is, I did my raffle drawing earlier. Iowa Scotsman, I got to fetch you another ticket and write it up as soon as we shut the stream down. But I will take care of that for sure. But yeah, congrats to Iowa Scotsman, who is our winning entrant for the landing rate raffle here for Across the Pond. Mustafa hitting us with the raid. Well, Moose, unfortunately, I am getting ready to wrap up, but I heard that you guys did not get to finish your flight today, which is heartbreaking news. Heartbreaking news. But do appreciate your support of the channel, and hope that you had a good flight up until the point where your internet pooped out. But yeah, I know, sad news. Yeah, I was heartbroken the instant one of your viewers hopped over to my channel and let me know what was going on. Fortunately, everything here turned out pretty good. With a little frame rate at the end, I think the Orbic sceneries are a little too heavy for my graphics card, which is 3 years old at this point. But even with the low frame rates, I think our landing performance was pretty adequate. And kudos to that finals controller here in Vienna, who was really just banging us in really aggressively onto that final. And I hope I kept up okay. I think I did okay. I think I did pretty well. So, yeah, I was very happy with the overall execution of the flight. The Kuro Mod 787 held up really, really well. And it took all the changes that we threw at it as far as getting that transition route in there. Thank you again to Malcolm Foxtrot for pointing out that transition route, which I wasn't familiar with, but we got that in to the FMC well in advance of needing it, so we certainly appreciate the pointer there. Yeah, the VATSIM controllers were all great today. I agree with you, Moose. So the folks that came over from Moose's streams, Keith Rick, Fireheart was saying hi to Moose. Yeah, so Keith Rick, thank you very much for popping over. We appreciate it. Guys that are new to the stream, we typically fly general aviation, and slant alpha typically means that we mostly fly that old school radio-based analog style of navigation. So we don't often have RNAV capability, whether that's a GPS or inertial nav system or a flight management computer. We typically do that old school analog style of route management, where you're manually making that transition from one piece of your leg to the next, using those analog radio receivers and deviation needles and that sort of thing. That's mostly what we do, and we mostly do it in general aviation planes. We do occasionally break that mold, as you see before you. Once a month or so, we'll do an airline flight, and then we also occasionally fly that Citation CJ4. But we're very big in the WBSIM Cessna 152, and we're very big in that A2A Simulations Piper Comanche, which I know you guys see on the Mustafa channel quite a bit as well. So hope that you'll stop back and see us. Our normal show schedule Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, which for now remains 2300 Zulu Time. It switches over to midnight Zulu Time on the day ahead, about a week from now. All right, let me finish up the shutdown of the plane, and we'll finish up the wrap-up of the stream. We assume that everybody has gotten off of the plane by now, so we'll come up top and we'll start shutting the thing off. The recirc fans will come off, the packs will come off. The hydro pumps all can come into the off position. Wing anti-ice. I never did see where in my checklist I was supposed to get that on, but I did come back and find it that it was off, and I was like, oh, that should be on. So I skipped a step somewhere along the line there, but emergency lights can be. There we go. If I can just find the down arrow. There we are. Okay, back in. Oh no, I'm sorry. It should be the up arrow into the off position. I need to just do this here. There we go. So those can come off. That's good. What else do we need to do here?
Wing ground, good evening, CYHZ-051 at Lima 2.
Flight deck door power. IRS knobs. Nav lights, logo lights.
Stand to Delta 2 via Lima and taxi line 3.
And then that battery. Right, okay, that shuts us down. Okay, and that should, more than likely, that'll stop our radio receiver. Alright, there we are, guys, the Kuro mod of the 787. And, man, let's take a look at this scenery. Vienna Airport. Flughafen Wien. And there she is. Orbix scenery. Orbix catalog person here. And what an amazing piece of scenery it is. Like I said, a little frame rate heavy. It is about time for me to start thinking about upgrading graphics, though. But I can't really blame the scenery for that. This is a 3-year-old graphics card. It still holds up pretty well until you get to these really high detailed scenery packs like you see before you. SimFest UK stopping in. Oh my goodness, we did have a lovely flight for across the pond. SimFest UK, thank you very much. I'm not sure which one of you exactly this is, but I'm very familiar with all of you and appreciate you stopping by. Man, I'll tell you what, that is a perfect segue as we are going to be tagging along. SimFest UK is one of the official teams that does that World Flight event, guys, we were talking earlier. And I want to bring special attention to that because that is a week-long, non-stop charity event done by approximately a dozen or so teams around the world, official teams, that all fly in full-scale airliner replica cockpits on the VATSIM network. It's a week non-stop. They do have multiple crews, so it's rotating crews. They don't have just one person doing a week non-stop, but each of the official teams does that week non-stop. They all do live streams of their performance, and they collect money for their various charities. SimFest UK, one of the official teams, and truth be told, one of my favorite official teams. Yeah, so they do that the first week of November. I am going to be tagging along with the legs 13, 14, and 15. So on Monday, November the 6th, I hope that you guys will stop in. We're going to do a 12-hour marathon stream, 2 p.m. Eastern to 2 a.m. Eastern on Monday, November the 6th. We'll be flying along from Houston to Atlanta, then to Boston, and then to Winnipeg. In the spirit of that World Flight Charity event, we'll be collecting on this stream for our chosen charity, which is the ARF, Animal Allies Rescue Foundation of Greater Baltimore. It's a pet rescue organization that brought us 2 out of our 3 furry crew members. So we're very, very indebted to them. We try to support them as best as we can, and we'll be collecting for that 12-hour marathon stream on Monday, the 6th. We'll be collecting for that ARF, Animal Allies Rescue Foundation of Baltimore. Yep, going to tag along. So what? Yeah, World Flight's a week-long thing. And a dozen or so official teams do that week-long nonstop, but everybody kind of tags along. It ends up being dozens and dozens of pilots in a big conga line that goes around the world. 48 legs this year, if I recall correctly, starting and ending in Sydney, Australia, as it generally does. And yeah, so those 3 legs will be coming, 13, 14, and 15, to be coming through North America, and I'll tag along for those, and we'll collect some donations for the Animal Allies Rescue Foundation, which we truly, like I said, appreciate their service and the loving animals that they have provided for us. And SimFest says, awesome that you're coming with us. Our cats will no doubt be donating to that one. Well, don't donate too much, SimFest, because I'm going to be sure to support your stream as well. Yeah, thank you very kindly for that. All right, guys, the full show schedule, again, we talked about what we normally do here. Obviously, that's going to be an airliner stream for us as well, probably in this very same Kuro mod of the 787. But generally, we are a general aviation stream, Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. The full show schedule's down there under the About tab. It's also over on our Discord server. We also do some VATSIM air traffic control on this stream, and that's what we're going to be doing next time for you once we get back to our normal schedule on Monday. So do check that out. We hope to see you 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time from a TRACON facility to be determined somewhere in the Washington, D.C. ARTCC facility on the VATSIM network. So jump in on that Discord. If I wasn't very interactive with you during the late stages of the flight, I do apologize. Did have my hands full with the plane. And man, that approach controller, like I said, he kept me busy. He was aggressive. Just got me right on the final. No delays. Just bang, bang, bang. Get on final. Okay, good. We're there. So if I wasn't responding to every chat message at that point, I do apologize. But jump in on that Discord server. We interact. If you had any questions, or comments about anything that you saw or heard tonight, or just were trying to say hi, we interact on that Discord more or less every few hours around the clock, 24/7, 365. We're also on Twitter, and yes, I'm still calling it Twitter. The bottom center of your screen has the link, Slant Alpha, twitter.com, where we keep you up to speed with any last-minute changes in the show schedule, whether that's technical difficulties or last-minute personal or work obligation comes up, or maybe sometimes we're just switching things around because there's some new event popped onto the calendar that we're trying to accommodate. So we'll keep you posted on any of those show schedule changes. Right there on that Twitter feed, we also try and keep you up to speed with the latest and greatest news in the flight simulation community, as well as the VATSIM community, right there on that Twitter. So go ahead and check that out, or X, or whatever the heck you want to call it. Lower left-hand side of your screen, as of a moment ago, had our YouTube channel link. It'll come back here in about 15 seconds. Our YouTube channel link is where you can find all of our old flight broadcasts. And in addition to that, you will also find a playlist called VATSIM Tutorials. Those of you who might be considering getting onto the VATSIM network, but if you needed some help trying to figure out what to say to controllers, or how to choose a proper call sign, what these equipment codes mean, how to put a route together, how to read VFR sectionals, how I do my flight time and fuel estimates, all kinds of good information over there on that YouTube channel. So VATSIM Tutorials playlist, please feel free to check that out. Ask any questions that you have right there in the comments on those videos, and or find us on our Discord with those questions if you have them. Last but not least, we've got the ad for Flight Sim Expo flashing across the bottom of the screen, North America's preeminent flight simulation conference and trade show. Conference meaning lots of different presentations and seminars and panel discussions and product unveilings. Trade show meaning a giant floor with pretty much every flight simulation hardware and software vendor you can think of. 3 days worth of shopping, or 2 days worth of shopping, 3 days worth of seminars. 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of June 2024 at the Tropicana Resort out in Las Vegas, Nevada. This stream is perennially a media partner for that event. I do plan to be there in person, so a chance to shake hands and say hi if you are out there in Las Vegas in June. But when the registration opens for that in just probably 6 to 8 weeks here, before you register for that event, come back to this channel. We will have a promo code that'll get you about 10% off of that conference registration. So don't sign up for the event until you've checked in here. Get that promo code from us, and then save 10% when you register for Flight Sim Expo. Travel discounts and hotel discounts are available over at flightsimexpo.com. We hope to see you out there. All right, that's going to do it for us, guys. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. Let me see. Who can I tell you what, let us send you over to one of the controllers that we talked to on the way in. So if you guys want to see how this equation works from the air traffic control side of the interaction, let's send you over to that controller that we spoke to earlier. BVT Eagle Eye is working Maastricht Radar. Maastricht Radar, one of the folks that we talked to on the way in, and we will send you over to that controller right as we speak. Do make sure you tell him that Slant Alpha sends his love and thanks for the awesome control services today. Guys, we will be back with you on Monday doing some air traffic control ourselves right here on the VATSIM network. So in the meantime, have a great rest of your weekend. Be happy and healthy and safe in all of your own travels and own adventures. And we will see you soon. Good night.